Friends, welcome to Biology Made Easy. Today in this video, we are going to discuss the different patterns of biodiversity. It is very important from extension point of view, and listen carefully, very easily you can understand. So the biodiversity throughout the earth is not evenly distributed. At some places the biodiversity is found to a greater extent, while in some habitats it is found in to lesser extent. And we can tell that except the arids, semi-arids and aquatic habitats, usually in the remaining part of the earth, it depends upon the latitudinal gradient and the other is altitudinal gradient, and these two are also known as master gradients. So except the arids, semi-arids and aquatic habitats, these are the exceptions. In the remaining part of the earth, usually it may be due to latitudinal gradient or due to altitudinal gradient. Usually the biodiversity varies from place to place. Now let us discuss one by one. Now first we will discuss the latitudinal gradient. So you know what is latitude. Now if this is the earth, then this is the equator, and from the equator when we will move to both sides, either toward the north or south, then up to 23.5 degree, this is south, and 23.5 degree to north. Usually this area is known as tropic. Then beyond the tropic, you will find the temperate area, and finally you will get the poles. So that means the latitude, it starts from 0 here, and at this point it is 90. So when we will proceed from this equator towards the poles, gradually there will be decline in the biodiversity, gradually. And if we take the example, how it is declining, and let us take some examples. Let us take the example number 1. Now if we take the case of Colombia, and Colombia is located in this equatorial region, that means the tropical area, and it is usually in the equatorial area, and it has 1400 species of birds. Now if we will go to the slightly north, if we will go to New York, then New York is 41 degree north, that means it was this. Then it shows only 105 species of birds. Now still if we go to north, that is in Greenland, that is 71 degree north, and there will get only 56 species of birds. Whereas in India it ranges from 8 degree to 30 degree north. That means from 0 to 30 degree. That means it is most part of India is tropical, while some part is temperate. And here we will get 1200 species of birds. So from this you can see, when we are moving from the tropics toward the poles, you see this is in the equatorial region, then this is 41 degree north, then 71 degree north, and this is the also tropical area India. How this species diversity is varying when we are proceeding. This is one example. Now let us take the example number 2. Now in case of tropical forest, that is equator. Equator, in a tropical forest, here the vascular plants are 10 times more. Vascular plants are 10 times more than the Midwest USA, because it is coming in the tropical area. Let us take the example number 3. I am writing here example number 3. Now coming to example number 3, let us take the tropical Amazonian forest. Tropical Amazonian forest that is in South America. In South America. Now here you will find the biodiversity is richest in the entire world. That is why the tropical Amazonian forest is known as lungs of earth, because so much of biodiversity are there. So what are the examples? If we take the examples, we will find that there are 40,000 variety species of plants are there. Then 3,000 species of fishes and 1,300 species of birds. Then 427 species of mammals. Then 427 species of amphibians, and 378 species of reptiles, and 1,25,000 species of invertebrates, and more than 2 million species of insects, most of which are not yet discovered. That means from this you can imagine how much biological diversity is present in the tropical Amazon forest located in South America. So it depends upon, because this is located in the equatorial region. So this is how, that is when we will proceed from the tropical area from the equator toward the poles, gradually there will be a decline, and in the alpine and subalpine areas it will still less. Now the question comes to our mind, why? What is the reason behind it that in the tropical areas there is more biological diversity than the polar areas? So let us answer that question. So what are the reasons for it? Now one of the reasons is absence of catastrophes. That means in the temperate areas usually frequent glaciations are found. Glaciations. And these glaciations, they destroy most of the biological diversity. Whereas in the tropical area, in the equatorial area, you will find the climatic condition is constant, it's stable and constant. It doesn't fluctuate even year after year. That is one of the reasons. In the temperate areas, there is glaciations, and several glaciations have been found in the past where the equatorial region is constant and stable. That is one of the reasons. Now coming to the second reason, the second reason is that is the favorable environment. Favorable environment. Now what is the meaning of this? Usually in the temperate regions there is seasonal fluctuations. That means there is summer season, rainy season, winter season, all types of seasons are there. But in the equatorial area, throughout the year, almost one time of climatic condition is there. There is no seasonal variation. So that also contributes to biological diversity. Now the third point is availability availability of solar energy. This is also one of the important points. In the tropical area, in the equatorial region, throughout the year, the solar energy is sufficient, so that the productivity, we can tell the gross primary productivity, and so short we can call it GPP. The gross primary productivity is very high because the plants, they get sufficient amount of energy, solar energy throughout the year. But in the temperate and the polar areas, sufficient amount of solar energy is not available throughout the year. And the fourth point we can tell, that is a paradox of enrichment. Now, what is this point? You'll find in the temperate region there is a winter season, and the winter season is very harsh for the development of the plants. That is why the deciduous plants, they shed their leaves. If you move towards the poles, then most of the time that winter is throughout the year. Winter is throughout the year. So when winter is throughout the year, naturally the harsh conditions are found. But if we come to the equator, in equator almost there is no winter. That means harsh conditions are not found. Harsh conditions not found. So these are the four reasons: absence of a catastrophes like glaciations, favorable environment, that is there is no seasonal fluctuation in the tropics, availability of more solar energy in the tropical area, and there is no harsh condition in the equatorial area. That is why the biological diversity in the tropical area is far more than that of the temperate and polar regions. So this is about the latitudinal gradient. Now let us discuss the other one. Again, we can also find in this latitudinal gradient, if I will draw another graph here, I am drawing it here. Now this is 0 and this is 20, 40, 60 and 80. That means this is the latitude. And if this side is 50, 100, 150 and 200, this is the number of species, then it is found that is a decline in the ant species. The ant species from nearly 200 species, gradually it is declined to like this. This is ant species. Ant species. That means from the equator, as we move towards the pole, gradually how the ant species declined. This is one type of graph. So this is about this latitudinal gradient. The second one is longitudinal gradient. The second is this is latitudinal, and the second is altitudinal. Altitudinal gradient. So altitude means the height from the sea level. Suppose this is a mountain. That means at the base of this mountain, the altitude is very low from the sea level. But if you go up, the altitude is very high. And as we will move from this low altitude towards high altitude, there will be a decline in biological diversity or in biodiversity. There will be decline in biodiversity. Now, why there will be decline in biodiversity? There are two reasons. Number one is low temperature. Low temperature. Why? Because the lapse rate lapse rate is 6.5 degrees centigrade for kilometer. That means from the sea level, when we will move 1 kilometer, there will be decrease in the temperature of 6.5 degrees centigrade. 2 kilometers above the sea level, that means 13 degrees centigrade. Likewise, the temperature decreases. And with the decrease in temperature, the second one is there will be seasonal variations. There will be seasonal variations. That is why maximum biodiversity is found in this base. And the base, there is a maximum diversity, while gradually when we will move upward in the subalpine and alpine areas, and here there will be less diversity. So this is known as altitudinal gradient. Now there is a third type, that is a species area relationship. That is also very important.